Hi, Ms. Ramirez with the rap program. Today, I will narrate to you a book about Election Day by Mir Tamrin Ansari. An exciting Tuesday. It is early November. Most children are in school and most adults have gone to work. Yet there is excitement in the air. What makes this Tuesday special? It is Election Day. Most adults who are at least 18 years old get to vote. Tomorrow, we may have new leaders. Election Day in the past. 75 years ago, elections were quieter. There was no television. It took longer to find out who had won. But Election Day was a day for voters, just as it is today. Elections have been taking place in the United States since 1788. That is the year our government was formed. Our country was brand new then. Creating a government. In those days, most countries had kings. People did not choose their kings. Kings were all from the same family. The American colonists decided to try a different system. They set up a democracy. Benjamin Franklin and Alexander Hamilton helped set up this democracy. In a democracy, the people chose the leaders. They can also replace leaders they do not like. Our elected leaders. In our democracy, we elect a president and vice president every 4 years. The president is the leader of the country. The vice president helps and takes over if the president dies. We also elect the people who make our laws. We elect people to run our states, our cities, and even our schools. Our first elections. We had our first election in 1788. George Washington was elected president. He had led the war against the British. His vice president was John Adams. In 1796, John Adams was elected as our second president. His vice president was Thomas Jefferson. Then Jefferson became our third president in the 1800 election. Election Day is born. When Election Day first began, people in different places could vote on different days. In some places, the voting could go on for days. But in 1845, a new law was passed. It said everyone must vote on the same day. Election Day would be the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November. And it still is today. Who can vote? At first, only some Americans could vote. Women could not vote. Neither could slaves. Sometimes poor people were also kept out of the elections. All that has changed. Today, almost any citizen who is at least 18 years old can vote. But people must sign up as voters before Election Day. Who can be president? Only certain people may be president. They must be over 35 years old and born in the United States. No one can be president more than twice. Except for these points, anyone can run for this office. The president can be a man or a woman. He or she can be of any race or religion. Jesse Jackson ran for president in 1984 and 1988 elections. What are campaigns? People who want to get elected to an office are known as candidates. Many candidates may try for the same office. The candidates try to get people to vote for them. They give speeches, run advertisements, and shake hands. This is called a campaign. Radio and television. A long time ago, people often did not hear or see the candidates. They only read about them in the newspapers. Then radio and television were invented. Now, candidates have advertisements on the radio. They also appear on television almost every day. Radio and television play an important part in today's elections. Where do we vote? On election day, you may see flags outside of schools, churches, and libraries. These are polls, which are places where people can vote. People do their voting in a booth. No one can watch them. They do not have to tell anyone how they voted. They can vote as they please. What is a ballot? Each voter gets a ballot. The ballot lists all the candidates. In some places, voters make a mark or punch a hole next to their choices. In other places, voters make their choices by touching a screen. Voting ends at different times in different places on election day. Then the ballots are gathered and counted. The winners are usually announced that night or the next day. Why are voters important? Voters have the most important job in our government. They choose the people who will be our leaders. Voters have the real power. Next election day, notice who is campaigning for which office. Ask yourself, who would you vote for? Someday, after all, you will be running the country as a voter.